Hello, my name is Mr. Pibbles, but you can call me Peter. And welcome to a brand new little mini project here on our lovely channel here. Now, what is this little mini project, you may ask yourself? Well, with Update 8 having just come out, within the last couple of weeks, I believe it is only right that we have a bit of a play around with those in-game pieces and just have a bit of a fiddle around. And the way in which I will be doing this is by creating a little mini project, a mini festive park in-game, so we can all have a look at some of these pieces and how they could be used. And we are starting off this lovely little project with a roller coaster, which, you know, foundation of all and any good parks. And we're actually doing something interesting here, and something that actually isn't within the game itself. And you may be asking me, what do you mean? And all will become apparent the sooner and longer we get into this video. But yes, I absolutely adored the festive theme within Planet Coaster 1. It was a wonderful thing to use around this time of year. The only thing I'm really sad about is that we didn't get any of the rides that came with it in the first game, that being, for me, the powered vehicle in the shape of a sleigh, because I think we are in need of more vehicles for that ride, but I digress. Instead, we are here and we are building a lovely, lovely little Christmas market. Again, starting with this coaster. Would you find this in a Christmas market? Not really. But given that this is this isn't meant to be necessarily realistic, it's just meant to be a bit of a play around, I think we can get away with it. And obviously you've got the very painful process of watching me build a roller coaster. So, while that is going on in the background, why don't I tell you just a little bit about sort of what this is all inspired by. So, this isn't going to be a major, massive park project like I did with the Halloween park. That took some planning, and I just didn't have the time to plan out something like that this time round. So instead, it is only going to be a very small park. 2 small areas at most, and each is going to play around with a little bit. So one area is going to be inside of this, inside of the footprint of this coaster, and the other area is going to be just outside of it, and both are going to show a different part of the sort of festive pack in motion. So for this, we are creating a lovely little Christmas village, sort of like a Christmas market where you'd find anywhere over the world. We'll have a couple of small flat rides inside here, and then the other area that we're going to make is almost a bit of a gingerbread village, because I actually really like the idea. And there we go, we have a name in for this coaster. It is the Mountain Descent. And you may be asking yourself, what does this have to do with Christmas at all? Well, you will soon see, because again, I wanted to do something that we don't necessarily have in-game at the moment, and what better than taking our new water slide here and doing something interesting. And I believe I have stalled for enough time. We are going to be turning this lovely little ride into a bobsled coaster, I believe is the technical term, which I am really excited for. I've had a bit of a play around with the idea of creating a bobsleigh coaster in my practice parks, and sort of aside from all of this, and actually it turned out quite well. So I thought, why not kind of create something in the same style that I can bring to all of you out there watching this little video series. There's only going to be 3, maybe 4 videos in this, so don't feel like it's going to be a massive thing. But yes, so we are using a massive raft flume because it has the biggest footprint, and it actually fits quite well. My one oversight when creating this was putting I believe it was a 2 meter offset on the entire thing. I should have done a 1 meter offset on the banking, but that is purely on me, and, you know, it has provided me some problems down the line, but I am just having to deal with it. So you can see me here having a bit of a play around and actually changing that banking offset down to 1 meter to actually make it fit where I want it to fit. And wow, it actually goes where I want it to now. That is an absolute miracle. So what actually are bobsleigh or bobsled coasters? Well, within this context, I believe that the biggest source of inspiration behind this one was the avalanche at the ever so wonderful Blackpool Pleasure Beach, and it is a fun ride. I have ridden it before. It is such a fun coaster to sort of ride and be aware of, and I believe it is the last of its kind in Britain, or like the only of its kind in Britain. But there we go. The other one that I have ridden before is at Park Asterix, and I can't remember it its name for the life of me. You'd think I would have noted it down, but no. But there we go. So Avalanche at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, that's the place. Is a lovely coaster, and again, it was the first in the UK, and it was built by Mack Rides, which is quite fun. And obviously, kind of that has a bit of a mountain sort of descent theme, but here we're going all out with the theming, and we are building a very, very little mountain around this, and I actually really like the way that this looks at the end. You know, after I finished recording all of this video, I actually took a step back, I looked at it and I went, ooh, that looks better than I could have hoped it could. So I'm actually really happy with it. The way that it looks, just kind of flowing down this mountain and around everything, just works so incredibly well. And kind of coming in here and placing all of these rocks. Again, it is a slightly fun process, sticking all of these rocks in. But I really like the way that the snow falls on all of this. It just makes it look so incredibly cool. You know, I wouldn't play this. I wouldn't play this series, this little series, without having the snow turned on, because it just wouldn't look as good. And I think it just adds perfectly to both this park and the game at large. So I am really in no position to complain whatsoever about it. Great job to all those at Frontier, and I hope to see more things like this in the future. You know, I'd love to see more sort of places that we can set up, and more environments to play around with, sort of similar to the ones that we get in Planet Zoo. I know that's a bit of a wild out there kind of idea from me, but there we go. And the other thing that I'm doing to this mountain is I am sticking some trees up and around the mountain, because it just, again, adds so much. You can see it there with the snow falling and with sort of all of this around. It just looks so incredibly cool, and it really goes to show how far a little bit of theming can go, because, you know, from the very beginning of this to where it is now, it just looks so fun. And we are now starting to get a bit of a station building on this ride, as well as getting the queue line and exit paths on, which is fun. So what we are doing first is placing the exit path, and then we will come in and place an entrance once we have a bit of a sort of setup around it. So what does this feel like? Well, to say that this isn't inspired at all by Avalanche would be lying outright, because I would hope that the influence is very clear at the style of this building. We are getting the rough brick from the fairy tale set, and kind of that's providing us with a nice base to start from, which is fun. And then on top of that, we're sticking lime plaster, and it just has this sort of almost Bavarian feel to it. And I don't know what it is that just makes it look so nice within this style of architecture, within sort of this theme. But it does genuinely work really, really well in the way that I want it to. Now, the idea was to sort of have this series as, singular video. I'll showcase the pack, but in my classic fashion, I dreamed a bit big with it, and slowly this did turn into me going, okay, so actually I like this. This is taking longer than I expected. Let's actually do some interesting stuff with this, and we will do some interesting stuff within the next episode or so. And I love the way, side point, that the snow falls on the roofs of buildings. It just looks so nice, and again, like, it just works incredibly well for what it does. And kind of we're coming in here and we're placing these down, and it's sort of what I'm trying to do is make sure it doesn't look like just a box. And there's the cut now footage, and this brings us to a completed building where we are now kind of adding details to the outside. I would have shown you all of this process, but you can see all of those little 1 meter pieces that are stuck within the top of within the roof of the building, and they just took forever to get. So I am glad that I cut the footage, because you would have had to sit here watching me place all of those individually, but I am really happy with the way that they turned out. And I do need to come back and place some glass within the window panes along the side of here, but it does look genuinely so good, and I really can't complain. Now, placing some path down here, we can finally connect our queue line up to the queue line. We can connect our path up to the queue line, and what are we doing with this little space here? Well, I initially toyed with the idea of having a little bit of an outdoor space, but in snow like this, you wouldn't necessarily want a completely outside queue. So instead, we are making a bit of an outside veranda type area, sort of that has this nice little roof on it, and it does just look really nice when it's all finished, and kind of coming in here and doing that, it does look really nice. It sort of has this festive patio feel, which I think really is the best description for it. It feels very much like an outdoor sauna almost. And I think, again, I really wish I could come up with a better description for it, but genuinely I think that is as good as it's going to get description-wise. So, sort of, you're not getting Thesaurus me out today. You've got the say it how he sees it, Peter, which, you can't complain about. So coming in here and placing these pillars to act almost like a bit of a fence around, just so people can't walk in through here, but they also can't walk out. And the other thing is sort of placing these beams within the corners of this middle section, which I think this works really, really well for what it does. Sort of, it just looks really nice. And again, sort of bringing that up to the regular height really just makes it look quite cool. And I'm aware that it is off, but there is nothing I can do about that. I say that. There is very much I could have done about it. So instead we are using this planet coaster fence, which I feel like was tailor-made for a project like this where, you know, we are indoors and we are using sort of this architectural style. And it just fits with it so well. And it just works really, really, really nicely. Yeah. This architectural style that I am using, it is a variation on my usual style. If you've been watching my series is for a while, you may know that I only really have 2 or 3 styles of building, and this is one of them. In terms of making buildings, I do like to sort of have a base and then put some sort of timbering over it, because I just think it looks nice. You know, it's everywhere over the over both the Halloween Park and the Challenge Park series, which we are going to be taking a minor break from to sort of have a bit of a play around with festive stuff, which I am sorry about. If you were hoping for more sort of Challenge Park stuff, then I can only apologise for coming in and just playing some of this instead, but I do feel like, you know, this is genuinely quite a nice breath of fresh air from everything we are doing there. So with that done, where are we going next? Well, let's connect up the path, and then we will have a look at instead placing a little bit of an archway over the path so that people kind of can get in, but also if they're under the coaster and somebody drops something, it won't hit them. So there we are with our essentially the same architectural style, which I really like. And I noticed these pieces, these lime plaster curved pieces. My only downside of the only problem I see with these pieces, having used them, is that there's really no roof that fits them apart from the metal roof, which is really annoying. I really wish there were more roofs that fit this style, but, you know, we make do with what we've got. And what we've got is this. And I do think it looks okay. You know, it could be better, but it also could be much, much, much worse. So, instead we are coming in here and we're placing down this very, very over-the-top sign so we can make a sign that says Market. Now, there is a sign on the front of this place that says Christmas Market, but we're putting a second one here. And that was the new font that came with the Toy Box Pack, the Sunshiny font, and it is a really nice font. So let's make this place a little bit festive. And we're going to do that with some of these holly wreaths in a star shape that'll just sit above these archways. And then what we can do is we can come in here and we can place down some more bits and pieces. And I noticed that we can have snowmen, so I'm playing around with the snowmen pieces to sort of have a bit of a snowman up on the ridge. It's not a very happy looking snowman, but there we go. You'd probably also be not very happy if you were left up on a ridge and there was a roller coaster going past and you couldn't ride it. So we are slowly approaching the end of this video, but we've still got more that needs doing. Like, inside here we have no interior to this place, and it does look very bare. So what we're going to do is we are going to place some of these wooden pillars down just to make the inside look a little bit nicer. And then we will place some of these as cross beams that go sort of across the main sort of section of this station. And from here, sort of, we'll play around with the festive pieces and see what we can do. Like coming in and placing some holly wreaths, these straight holly wreaths, around the entry and exit way, which is fun. I do like these pieces, they are quite cool. And then we are going to use these large holly wreaths, the large swaying holly wreaths, over these windows, and kind of get them across all the way. And I just really like the way that these look. There is something about them that just screams festive to me. I don't know, and I don't know if it's the fact that they almost look like tinsel. But it does really look nice. And I know, this place is very bare. There's a lot of work that needs to be done, but... And I will see you in a moment in real time. Okay, welcome back to real time. Now we have our first ride here in our very, very little sort of Christmassy festive project that we are going to be working on here for the next couple of episodes. And it is here, our mountain descent. A lovely little take on a bobsleigh coaster, that sort of thing that we don't have in the game yet, but I hope we do get at some point. But also, I think I kind of came up with something that worked just about. So if you have enjoyed this episode, then please feel free to give me a like, give me a comment, possibly even a subscribe if I'm lucky enough, and I will see you for the next episode. Ta-ta. Roll that outro.